We have seen what a big impact deteriorating bridges shutdowns can have on our communities and also our commutes in the last few months. Whether it's a massive Washington Street rebuild like right here in Rhode Island, or even for another example, a smaller Route 107 bridge closure between, of course, you may remember this, Saugus and Lynn just a few weeks ago. So we wanted to know what exactly is being done to keep our bridges safe. Let's go over to Catherine. And Catherine, you had a really unique perspective and also an idea of how this all works.
It was so interesting. So MassDOT took our crew not just behind the scenes, but underwater along the banks of the Neponset River to see the work that goes into keeping our bridges in good shape. I'm here along the banks of the Neponset River, and as you can see, the conditions aren't great. It's kind of cool and dreary and rainy, but as it turns out, there's no such thing as a bad day to examine the underwater parts of this bridge here that you see behind me. And we're going to take you along for that process. As traffic drives across the Granite Ave Bridge, drivers probably don't even notice the work happening under it to keep them safe.
Usually the reaction we get from people is, I guess somebody would have to do that, wouldn't they?
Bill Colleran is an engineer and one of 7 full-time divers with MassDOT's underwater operations unit.
We train them how to be scuba divers, and then we send them to bridge inspection school to learn how to be bridge inspectors.
The divers inspect nearly 1,300 bridges in Massachusetts that are in water 3 feet or deeper, usually every 3 years. On this day, they're in the Neponset River.
One of our biggest concerns is scour, where the soil underneath the piers or abutment is eroding away. Then we're looking for any kind of cracks. Like with this bridge, we'll check the pointing between the granite blocks.
Walk me through some of the gear. I noticed you had a knife or a dagger or something there on your leg.
So this is that's a dive knife, so I can cut fishing line. This one here I can also use to dig into the soil to hold myself in place if I need to.
The divers wait for slack tide when the currents weaken, and then so at this point, the divers are in the water, and there's also somebody up on the top of the bridge that's monitoring this dive. And, you know, to the untrained eye, like mine, I take a look at this bridge and I think, well, it's not terribly long, so maybe this inspection won't actually be so hard. But as it turns out, there are quite a few challenges with this particular dive.
It's a little more difficult because the visibility is very poor usually at this site.
So how can they inspect something they can't see?
So you're going to be doing a lot of feeling with your hands. We do a lot of training to simulate. We use blacked out masks and things like that.
Eric Hogan is the Eastern Area Coordinator for MassDOT's underwater operations. He says the training for this unit is rigorous, and it needs to be.
So we dive in the snow, we dive in, we break ice, we dive in almost everything.
Even polluted water.
Some of the polluted rivers, you wouldn't want to go in a wetsuit because you'll absorb any of the pollution. So we do have dry suits.
And the divers can be called at any moment.
For a bridge hit, we would go out and check out the condition of that. Another big one that we do is if there's a big flood event, we'll go out and do flood inspections to make sure that, that the conditions haven't changed.
The divers emerge from the river. Another inspection is complete. So how did this bridge check out?
The bridge is in fair shape.
Okay, so you'll be back in 3 more years.
3 more years, yes.
As for the divers, they'll have a new assignment tomorrow. A day at the office that's never boring.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a cool job.
All right, so that might leave you wondering, how safe is the bridge closest to you? So I found this interactive MassDOT portal when I was doing this story, and you can use this to check on the health of any bridge in our state. And this is interactive, as I mentioned, so you can maybe zoom in on your neighborhood here. So say you live over in Dorchester Center, you can pick an individual bridge over there. It'll pop up some of the information. You can also use this filter over here as well, and that'll give you certain elements that you can check on for that bridge. So very, very interesting. I have a link to this on our website, and I also put in a public records request for the last underwater inspection report on that Granite Ave Bridge that you just saw in the package there from about 3 years ago. So at that time, most bridges, or most parts of that bridge, I should say, scored a 7 out of 10, with 10 being the best. So I have that report on our website as well. Back over to you.
Pretty interesting, Catherine. All right, thank you. It's now 6:18.